It's me again. It's way too early here, but here I am. This one actually brings me back. This chocolate helps your memory. Dark chocolate can sharpen your memory for the next hour. Uh, Way back when I was doing this stuff, I had a class with my friend Becca Berkey. We used to teach quantitative reasoning. It was also like a little mini research methods for the public for civic thinking sort of thing. So you would learn really what studies are about and how we think about studies and things like that, control groups and uh, um, uh, confounders and things like that. And we used to do this stuff all the time. Um, and it was an intersection, an early intersection with my work on information literacy, just this quantitative reasoning and thinking about what does evidence mean in cases like this. And so I'm excited to delve into this again. I will tell you that my experience previously with these chocolate things is that generally they've been overstated. And sometimes actually you find that they're industry funded as well. So let's take a look. All right, jumping in here. We don't really need that image. When you do this in Google Lens, it can actually see everything on the page, not just what you select, but selecting helps it focus a little more. Um, so this actually accurately summarizes the thing, which is good when AI overview doesn't know what it's looking at. It's better that it just sticks to the summary. Let's go to AI mode and see if AI mode can figure out what study this is, right? So immediately here we get some caveats. We get the claim that dark chocolate may sharpen memory is supported by some research. So we can go a number of different directions here. Um, again, I should open up my follow ups here. Let's open this in a new tab. Um, do we care right now about this specific study, um, or do we care more about the claim? It's always the question you're asking yourself when you do this. Do I care really about the study? Is that what I want to see, or do I just care about the overall thing? Um, So let's try. Let's see this. This is not a well-honed follow-up for particularly what I want, but I'm curious if something this broad will give me this specific study. Um, Find me a link to the original source. If not available, find a link to the closest thing to it, the original source. Do you notice I'm a little more awake since the time shift? Like it's the same time I've been doing these all right. It's 6:24 in the morning here. Um, the post claim, yes, it did it. I think yes, study finds, and it worked. So if we wanted to look at the original study, we can track it down to this. Um, so that's if you want to look at the original study, but we also might want to look at the claim. So let's take one of our follow ups. And I put these with these little blanks in them. One of the reasons why I put these with blanks in them is that one of the reasons why I put these with blanks in them is sometimes I don't know, AI mode can kind of forget. Like you say, what's the evidence for the claim? And sometimes, and usually it will get that, but sometimes it just doesn't even understand what the claim is, or it just kind of forgets over the course of the conversation. I've put in stuff like this, and it says evaluate the evidence for the claim, and then it like sometimes, not usually, but sometimes it will say it'll give me like a definition of what the word claim means. So evaluate the evidence for the claim that dark chocolate, we're going to say improves cognitive performance. performance, which is a little broader. If you're asking yourself, could my students do this? Could they formulate improves cognitive performance? Like get those 3 words there? I don't know. I mean, I think a number of your students could get there, and I think it's an interesting. Just from a critical thinking, research, domain knowledge standpoint, it's interesting to get them to think about what goes in that blank, right? So if you think about, this critical reasoning with AI mode, I just want to say something. It's not just like we're teaching you how to use AI mode. Like the point here is we're actually teaching you some principles of critical thinking, right? And so filling in the blank there is part of learning that. It's part of understanding, sometimes having to formulate yourself, like, what is the broader claim I'm interested in here? And it's hard, right? It can be hard for students, right? But it's exactly what you want the students to practice doing, right? And this gives you an easy way to kind of build something where the students, there's a benefit to the students being able to formulate more precisely what claim they're interested in. So we're going to say evaluate the evidence for the claim that dark chocolate improves cognitive performance and provide a table that matches evidence to rebuttals and rates the strength of the evidence. It's a long thing, but again, remember, we got it in a follow-ups file. Your students can have it in a follow-ups file too. Let's see what the evidence looks like here. Take a sip of coffee. But really, you can see that I'm much more awake, right? Like this time shift. I'm not a big fan of the fallback. I kind of would like the daylight savings time to just be permanently in place, but I don't know. When it happens, it's good. Current evidence regarding the effect of dark chocolate is promising but mixed, with some studies showing positive results and others demonstrating no significant effect. Beneficial effects are largely attributed to coca flavanols, which are believed to increase cerebral, so there's a mechanism there, blood flow, and have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Following table summarized. Okay. Let's take this as it goes. Flavanol consumption improves cognitive function. Evidence. Some studies show consuming high flavanol coca can improve attention, etc. Rebuttal. A Harvard Health article notes that some studies found no benefit. Systematic review concluded that chocolate consumption was not associated with better cognitive function. In some cases, improvements in brain function were not accompanied by performance on cognitive tasks. So strength of evidence mixed. And again, this is not the destination. This is not where the student stops, right? This is a map of the lay of the land, right? You're getting out the map and you're understanding what research is out there, what the issues are before you kind of venture off into the wilderness. And this is giving you the map, right? Flavanols increase cerebral blood flow. Rebuttal, increased blood flow doesn't always translate. Some studies report physiological improvements without corresponding improvement. So this is interesting. We're getting a sort of nuance here that we weren't getting necessarily. I mean, maybe it was up here in this thing. It might be up in the first one. I don't know, but it's just clearer here. Like the evidence for the increased blood flow is moderate. It's better than the evidence for the cognitive function increases, right? So part of the issue that we're going to have to tease apart here is, okay, there's a possible mechanism there, but is that mechanism translating to performance? And that's a much more nuanced question than maybe we started with. Dark chocolate can enhance cognitive performance in demanding situations. Evidence study found flavanol during demanded cognitive tasks, suggesting benefits more apparent when brain is under stress. Okay. Some studies have failed to show significant cognitive effect in older adults, even in cognitive demanding. So other studies seem to actually go against this. Again, mixed ideas, plausible. More research is needed. You know, that favorite line of every researcher. Okay. So this is we got to a more nuanced point here, which is there's moderate evidence for some of these more mechanical effects. There's mixed evidence for whether they're translating into real, generally seen cognitive benefits. And we can use that to enter the research with a little bit of a better idea what we're looking at as we go into it, right? And then, of course, we update our beliefs here. I'm going to try one here in this thing. So are there differences in industry-funded research on this topic and independent or government-funded studies? One of the reasons, by the way, that you like government-funded studies is otherwise you just end up with industry-funded studies, right? Like you can't just a plug for like the NIH. Like the alternative to the NIH is is chocolate companies funding chocolate studies. And that's why we fund science. So just heads up on that. Research on the benefits, particularly performance, has been conducted by both industry-funded and independently funded sources. While some studies, regardless of funding, have found positive effects, a review of the research suggests a potential for bias. One analysis found that 100 Mars-sponsored... 100? 100 Mars? Like Mars Bar? Is Mars even a company? Is that right? First of all, maybe that's on a link. So here's another direction we can take our critical thinking over here. So I'm at 12 minutes, and so I should probably sign off. But I think we've shown three things here, right? First, what was the first thing? First, the main thing is that this is a way of thinking about like critical thinking, right? And so the first thing I think we showed was it's not a flaw that there's a blank here that you fill in. The blank here you fill in, that's part of teaching students critical thinking. It also helps the system work better. Second, we found that having the stuff in this sort of chart gave us an entry point into a bit of nuance about the research. That is, the impact on mechanics versus the impact on the intermediate, right? The intermediate mechanism, which is moderate, versus the impact on what is our ultimate, like the ultimate thing that we're trying to measure, which is mixed, right? Very nuanced point that we could use as an entry point into the research. And we'd see if that holds up, but it's a good entry point into the research. And then the final thing here is that, we can also go a different direction with this. And we can look and have a talk about industry-funded studies and track that down to sources that are reliable and will give us some background here. Of the 100 Mars sponsored studies on coca and chocolate and health, 98. Okay. That looks real, folks. Okay, with that, I'm going to sign off. This has been a long one, but really, again, we're teaching critical thinking is what we're doing here. We're teaching critical thinking so that you can use things like AI mode better, but also just so you get better critical thinking. And this is just a great tool, I think, a great way to do that. That's why I'm passionate about this. So, all right. See you later.